What's up, and welcome back to another episode of Huntin Games, the show where I talk about all the games I'm adding to my collection and the deals I found along the way. As you can see, it's all about Sega today. Mainly Sega Genesis, but all Sega stuff that I picked up. This is kind of to celebrate the release of my first single coming up off of my new album called My Genesis. I'm going to link that in the description below, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out. And yeah, let's get into it. $100 gang with the $5 bill. $100 gang with the $5 bill. $5 bill, and I'm gonna get changed. And I'll be talking about this deal on Huntin Games. I'm creeping. Okay, so growing up, Sega Genesis was my favorite. I mean, I wasn't a Super Nintendo guy at all. I liked the NES, but when the Genesis came out, I have so much nostalgia. Like how people talk about A Link to the Past, people talk about, Mario World, which, I enjoy one of those games. I'm all about the Sega Genesis. I love it, I love it, I love it. And writing and kind of getting into the creative mindscape of creating My Genesis, which is just a love letter to Sega Genesis that I decided to, record and film and edit and do all that kind of stuff. It got me really, really craving Sega Genesis again. And I have a Mega Retro on HD, so I could play any Sega Genesis game through HDMI cable. But I also have the Sega Genesis Mini, which I just recently found out is like super easy to put games on there through different means, I guess. I've never really done that before, but I have all these games, and sometimes it's easier just to, it's got save states, all that kind of stuff. But without further ado, I just decided I'm gonna go find some things that I like. There aren't really a whole lot of great deals today, and that's okay. I'm always on the hunt for deals, but I mean, sometimes you just want to collect the games that you want to play or you want to have in your collection. So this is the first thing that I got. You may have already seen this if you follow me on social media, but this is basically just a 6-button arcade pad, official Sega Genesis. I have like some old crusty ones, so this was like $12 on Amazon. Came in a couple days. Weird thing though, if you order this, it didn't come in an Amazon box. It was on my front porch, like just like this, straight up. And then with a huge sticker on it with like, I don't know, it was awful. But I used a little blow dryer, got off that big, huge, ugly sticker, and I got the fight pad, pulled it out. Works so good. I'm going to have to order another one for 2-player games from a Mega Retro on HD. And yeah, so if you're looking for a good controller, look no further. Next up, not just Sega Genesis, but Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast. I'm kind of a fan of everything Sega, so I have a couple Sega Dreamcast games I got on the cheap. So $1.99. This is a surfing game, Championship Surfer. I think there's another one that actually has a dude's name on it, but $2. If you collect, like if you're watching this because you collect, you already probably know. You kind of go in waves, you're like, oh, I'm just into the GameCube right now, or into the Wii or NES or whatever, and I was just kind of into the Dreamcast, like, also recently, Sega, I guess. I have a VGA cable that I was able to hook up, and so, you kind of get the extra crispness and clarity of the Sega Dreamcast, so I decided I'm going to start adding games to my collection. So, some filler titles, but this one, some people might think it's a filler title, this Trick Style. And I think that Trick Style doesn't get a whole lot of love. Basically, it's like a skateboarding game, but it's a futuristic take on a skateboarding game. A hoverboard. So I think Tony Hawk, but kind of meets Jet Set Radio, but with races and stuff instead of like a story. And you can grind on these rails. It's a whole lot of fun, or at least it was when I was growing up. And that may be just because this was the only game that I had besides NFL 2K, like demo disc or something. I think I had the original demo disc, the orange one that had House of the Dead and NFL 2K. I can't remember what else, but I got Trick Style super cheap way back in the day from Best Buy for like $10, and I got it for $5 recently. If you haven't played it, give it a try. It's wonky, all those games back then are wonky. Some of them hold the test of time, some don't. Play it, you be the judge. All right, now I got some Genesis games. And not just Genesis games, because I have a pretty good collection of Genesis games of loose. I used to have so many boxed games, but I sold them all for like really cheap about 6 or 7 years ago. And had I known the value of that's any collector's nightmare, really. You know, had I known a lot of things, had I known Devil's Third, you know, I wouldn't have sold it for $50 3 years ago. Anyways, but so I'm starting to get some of the Sega Genesis boxed games that I really like. I'm not really gonna collect things just to like try to like make profit off of them when it comes to that. But the games that I had like a significant like nostalgia for from childhood, I'm gonna pick up. And this isn't my first time getting this one, but X-Men. If you played the Sega Genesis, you know about this X-Men game. It's a pretty tough game. It really is. I never beat it as a child, but I mean, look at the art. This was like heralded back to the animated show that would come out. I think it was on Fox. Oh, wow, so good. You can play as Gambit, Cyclops, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler. Yeah, Nightcrawler. Anyways, happy I got that. I think that was like $10 or something. Forgotten Worlds. This game is really cool. If you're not familiar with Forgotten Worlds, it's I think it's Capcom. Oh no, it's not Capcom. I don't know. If you know who makes it, it says Sega of America. I thought it was a Capcom game this whole time. I don't know. Correct me in the comments. Forgotten Worlds is a 2-player game, and it's kind of like a shoot 'em up game, but you can actually shoot all around you in 360 degrees. You're a dude on a jetpack. You got your buddy on a jetpack. And as you're going, you're like picking up coins, and then you can actually take those coins and then go into a little shop that pops up along the way, and you can level up. So it has these RPG elements. And this was like back from like the late 80s, early 90s, I think 1989. So the really cool concept of genre mixing and genre blending that we see like in everything today. But co-op, RPG elements, a shooter, and then like big epic bosses, something you'd see like in Contra or whatever. Huge epic bosses. That was a game that I really enjoyed playing with my friends. So I'm hoping maybe I can play with my wife sometime soon. I don't know. And last but not least, we have a game that's probably one of my favorite top 5 Sega Genesis games. And that's The Immortal. Now, if you're not familiar with this, there's also an NES counterpart. I've bought several of those, but they've just never worked. They've always been like, I put it in my NES and it gets like this pixelated screen. Evidently, there's some issue with those carts. But the Genesis version, from my biased opinion, is the superior version. And I got this at FX, which is a used video game shop here we got locally. And I saw this. They have a bunch of Genesis boxed games. I saw this and I was just like, I kind of have to have that. How much is it? And it's $29.99. He gave it to me for $19.99. The owner there, he's super cool. I might link down in the description, maybe like their Instagram or something like that, so you guys can follow them, because I think they sell stuff online too. Anyways, so he knows that. I mean, I've been going to that store. I mean, I've followed it from like 3 or 4 different locations. I've been going to that store since I was like 12, since the Super Nintendo. But he gave me $10 off because the cart isn't in good shape. And I told him, I was like, I already have a perfect condition cart. I'm really just buying it for this. So I'll probably sell this, but we'll see. I might not. Who knows? So yeah, I mean, this is a wonderful box. And yeah, if you're not familiar with The Immortal, super high fantasy. Basically, you're going through dungeons, trying to figure out what happened, avoiding traps. It's like the Dark Souls of the Sega Genesis time, if that makes you interested at all. But anyways, yeah, that's all my finds. Things I'm adding to my collection, which I'm very excited about because I love Sega. And after you're done watching this, make sure you go watch my music video. I actually have a lyric video, and then I also have just a video of me on a white screen, basically with all the games. I mean, every bar is 1 or 2 games that I'm just talking about Sega Genesis. I love Sega Genesis. I'll link in the description. You can get it at Spotify, anything streaming platform, whatever. Let me know if you are also a fan of the Sega Genesis, and if you got any deals lately, sound off in the comments below. And as always, happy hunting, everybody.